negatively affecting business and investments in Trinidad and Tobago. All right. Of all, we got 26 votes. 24 of you all said yes.
Well, I think it is affecting. You can't think that it's not affecting the country at some level. The level of crime, the reporting of crime in this country, while no one can suggest it stopped investment. Investment hasn't stopped. It has certainly negatively affected the amount of investment that we've had, and anybody with any sense would see that. Anyone who can think that it hasn't negatively affected people's perception, business people in particular, about whether or not to invest here, I'm sorry, that's not practical.
Yeah,
it's not practical at all. And no one's saying it's eliminated investment or it's stopped investment totally. And the manufacturing, we didn't state foreign direct investment, we just said investment. So there is investment at some level, but it hasn't, it certainly would have affected investment. And if you look at the trends in foreign direct investment, it's a downward trend over the last couple of years. Local investment, yes, manufacturing is doing pretty well. But that doesn't mean it may not have done better had it not been for the crime situation.
Yeah.
So.
And speaking of crime, I'm sending something to the news group. This is why, look at it. I know sending something there. 2 guys robbing a guy on Charlotte Street, just north of Park Street. In broad daylight, in front of everybody, and they don't care.
Yeah.
Look at that, Paul.
It's just very, very depressing.
And people they really don't care anymore. They're doing whatever they want, and they know they can get away with it. That's the thing.
And that's the issue. They act with a level of impunity because they don't think they're going to be caught.
That's it.
And in many of their those people who are prone to crime or have adopted criminal lifestyles don't really care about whether they're not in many instances. They live for today. They don't care what distress they inflict upon you and your family. And they don't have no respect for police, law enforcement, or any authority in the country. And they are carrying on because they don't think that they're going to be caught.
Yeah.
I guess we can open the phone and see what the listeners think. They can expand on their views a little more.
Also online on our website and our app, the yeses have it there as well.
Well, you could probably also try to give Derek a call. Let's try to expand on his interview with The Guardian.
Yeah, and let me send him a WhatsApp first.
To see what he thinks,
Up or not.
We could also call Rajiv Dipti of Supermarkets Association, see how sales are going.
Yeah.
And that guy with the Chigwanas Chamber of Commerce, because he always gives us a great sense of what the business community is saying during this period. This is the time when they're supposed to project a lot of business gains. Christmas into New Year's is usually a time when businesses try to recoup the slow periods for the slow periods. So I know the malls are pretty packed and commerce is up in the malls. I know that much. Port of Spain, I'm not seeing any setup. People are in Port of Spain a lot, but I don't know what the purchasing is like. But as we said before, Port of Spain is not a very attractive place to come, unfortunately, for many different reasons. It's not clean. It's littered with potholes. It's
nasty.
The crime situation in some instances. You don't get a feeling of Christmas past some of the stores who've put up decorations. There's no overall, to me, overriding sentiment of Christmas in Port of Spain. Unfortunately, I haven't been to San Fernando, so I don't know. But I know the malls are very, very well decorated, and people are going into the malls. I guess in some instances, you feel safer in the malls too.
Yeah. But too, people who go to the malls to see the decorations.
Well, if you bring with the children, you feel safe. If you bring with the children, you feel safe in the malls also.
Yeah.
And to the malls' credits, I don't know if they've hired the police or they're working with the police, but in the 3 malls I've been to, there is a police presence. Police are walking around the malls in uniform. in the car park in uniforms. So I don't know if it's an initiative of the mall owners and the TTPS, but it is welcomed. You know?
Yeah. Right.
When you see the police, you feel a sense of security too, particularly in the malls and in the mall car park, and particularly for women who are shopping with children.
The kids want to go out.
Yeah, and you want to feel safe walking from inside the mall to your car and back. So I was really happy to see that. And this last weekend and the weekend before at Trin City, West Mall, and Long Circular. So I haven't been to South because I just not feeling for that those car park wars in the malls because there are car park wars looking for parking.
Yes, and those
parking spots. They get very antsy for parking in malls now.
Yes, and those parking spots in Trinidad and Tobago are so tight that somebody going to scrape your car. Somebody going to open the door on your car. Always.
Yeah, well, I know about always because
always
is always. Always means always. No exception, right?
No exceptions, none.
Okay. So, since every time you've been to a mall, your car's been scraped.
Pretty much, I come back, I see a ding. When did I get that? Oh, I went to the mall. City corner.
Well, that has not been my experience. So,
yeah, you can't park far because you might get robbed. So,
we want to know what you think. What you think about if the crime is affecting
chin, so I'm trying for
negatively. If
my other co-host to be.
Well, I don't know what happened to both of them. That they must have went online. Who knows?
I don't know what happened to them. Richard didn't say anything.
Or they took a shopping day, or they probably went out liming late last night and this morning.
Yeah, they went liming. Richard probably outside Castro's. If anybody could be outside Castro's and see.
I had a few knockback last night, so you never know.
You had a few knockback?
No, I did not.
Okay,
I had cough syrup.
I had Ferrol.
So,
yeah,
that's really
I'm not getting anybody.
Cough syrup and Panadol and eucalyptus oil.
Oh God, all of that. Yeah, I'm not getting anybody for. But we'll take your calls. I'll try in between our calls. 222-8255, 612-8255. North Americans, you can call us 866-525-1099. And, let's chat about our poll question this morning, where you can weigh in and why you think, why yes or no. And the question was, do you agree with businessman Derek Chin that crime is negatively affecting business and investment in Trinidad and Tobago?
And let's try to elicit some solutions. What do you think the authorities should be doing? If you think you have ideas as to what you think will help lower the crime situation, what do you think the authorities should be doing that they may not be doing at this time? What would you suggest if you were to have a meeting with the Minister of National Security or the Commissioner of Police, or even the Prime Minister for that matter? What do you think? We want some ideas from you as to what you think should be happening.
All right,
that may help lower the crimes situation.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Steve.
Morning.
Yes, to the poll, and I see they light up the promenade, but I hear all the talk about it.
That's good. When do they light it up?
Yeah, we said to light it up, but if I drive now, I can't see the lights.
Well, they don't usually have the lights on in the day, Steve.
No, so therefore there's no decoration during the day.
See, that doesn't make any sense. The decoration is there. They just didn't light the lights in the day because the lights make no sense. They're not making any sense now.
No, I don't. Apart from lights, what else is there? Oh, let's take the caller. Sorry, dear. Go ahead.
Yeah, close at the Ryton Road is beautiful, but I just find that they could have like more trees though. They skip so many of the trees.
Yeah, I know by Central Bank they lit up. I think that's Central Bank that did that. But all right, thank you, Derry.
Only one part of the promenade lit?
No, this morning I saw a lot more parts.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah, morning.
Morning, Mr. P.
Compliment that this season to everybody.
Cheers.
Many happy.
I don't be totally vexed when I hear people raising an issue when some big businessman says. So when these small people talking about it, they don't hear that. Huh?
Well, I think people listen to the small people too.
The children say so, that's law. We talking about this all the time. Crime affecting not only business, everybody in Trinidad and Tobago, small business. I know a lady open a little lotto booth. And the first day she opened, she get her habit gone, she done with that, she gone through, she done with that.
Are you serious?
And
Wow.
then, it's that people, as soon as you open the door in the morning in robbery, you understand? Taxi drivers flying the vehicles, getting robbed, kick out the car, beating all kind of things. Look, the fella with the picture man up in Blandishell up there. They go and kill the man. You know what they kill the man for? Or what? For pictures? So this crime affecting everybody in Trinidad and Tobago.
Mr. Patrick, what do you think they should be doing that they're not doing?
You went in the grocery.
Mr. Patrick, what would your suggestion be?
Huh?
What do you think they should be doing or could be doing that they may not be doing? What is your suggestion for a solution?
Well, let me tell you, I could remember when I was in New York some time back. I seen police walking all about the place. When
I see police walking.
Why?
I see police walking.
Wait, what's that?
All through Port of Spain, through the moors, I'm seeing a lot more police presence.
Yeah. Now we've seen that, and again, as we was talking recently, like this police army patrol thing is a seasonal thing. Christmas carnival, after that, what's going on? You understand? Have 5-6 police walking to the place, checking all them little store, all them little booths. You don't have boy, I don't know the solution. The solution is people have to stop committing crime. And the solution is people have to stop committing crime. Because it's about a para.
I don't know there's any country where that's going to happen.
A little para, you sell 2 loaves of bread, the next man will come for 1 cigarette, and as soon as they give you a cigarette, people are gone.
Since humans walk around in caves, they committing crimes. What is the solution to stop it, to reduce it?
Boy, I don't know, boy. I really don't have the answers now. I really don't have the answers for that now. Whatever that is, baby.
All right, Mr. Patrick, be safe.
Thanks, Patos. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm glad that you asked that question, Paul. Because I've been waiting on that question. Right? My solution would be we need to build a federal prison in this country.
Build a federal prison. Okay.
Yes, we need to introduce
I'm listening.
Large prison.
Okay, and
we need to these people speed up the judicial system and start putting these criminals away permanently.
You know, I had an interview with a reporter yesterday, and that's one of the things I mentioned, that no one is holding the judiciary to task for the slow pace in the criminal side of it.
No.
It is slow. It is slow. It stopped. It almost stopped. And no one is holding the judiciary's feet to the fire for the lack of improvement in the speed of trials.
Everybody wants to blame the commissioner. Everybody wants to blame the prime minister. And the police doing their work. They're arresting these people. Sometimes they're charging these people. But in 24 hours, they're on bail. And the case takes 15 years to hear.
Yeah, if a criminal case had, as they introduced it in Canada some time ago, I think it's 3 years and 5 years under some circumstances to be completed by law, we would have a lot more people in jail, even if they got bail. And in the cases where they should have been convicted by the criminal justice system and behind bars. So, this 15 years for somebody to go to trial in criminal cases is ridiculous. There's no path of justice in that.
Yeah.
So you see why I started where I started when I said, build a bigger prison first.
Well, yeah, but when you build the prison, you still having a prison doesn't mean that the case is going to go faster, you know.
Well, it works in contingent with that. You understand? We
You can have an empty prison, you know.
Yes, I understand. But I think that is one of the key places to start. Fix the judicial system, implement, I don't know if it's really laws or whatever, that cases would only go. Let me ask you a question. The pastor with the money, with the $1.6 million. Anybody hear anything about that?
Or the way you used to call it. What was the big news 3 years ago? The one that the certain money one that they say was a threat to national security.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah,
Drug Susu. DSS.
That was propaganda as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
I mean, we all know DSS would have crashed eventually or some way. But the way they was pushing this they was hunting.
Well, you have when you make a statement like DSS would have crashed, that's fraud, right? Because if you're taking people's money with an expectation for exponential gain and it's going to crash, that is fraud in any part of the world. Right? So saying that is propaganda in one hand, and then saying it was eventually going to crash, meaning people were going to be left without the money they were promised, they don't reconcile. You know that, right?
I understand what you're saying. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
A pyramid, and I think it's now illegal. Those kinds of schemes are illegal because they rob people of their money.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Zina.
Good morning, my dear.
Any voice come back now and it's so nice and husky.
That's just for you.
Oh,
You
good.
like husky voice.
Yeah, thank you, my dear.
But here you're dribbling yourself. Here you.
You know what? Listen to me. Well, that caller said it for me, but I put it in a different way. Swift and serious justice. You see, this country too one-sided. I always say that because there are cases that people, I hear judges coming out in the midnight to adjudicate on certain cases and how certain people could get a case here quick, and others the case pending long. So something is wrong, and I find especially I call it petty crimes. Too many people sitting down languishing in jail. And look at this new thing where they have for bail for murderers. I find it strange how the nephew of the police commission, the other one, didn't get bail, and two who they can't find out who killed the guards. So many of them, and damaged the lady who in hospital now recuperating for the murder by Pennywise. That robbery down there. And they can't find two now. You understand? That abscond. So what they're really telling me, when they come up with that bail for murderers, and now you can't find them, and then some now you're not getting bail. Where's the position? Everything like it just muddled and wrong-sided in this country. And I'm saying again, the justice system is too slow. And what they have going on is something that is encouraging the crime, because you see this thing with getting big police bail when you commit a crime in the middle of the night, you're calling out, you're getting justice of the peace, and you're getting... When I heard somebody told me the other day, they had some son who getting held for some marijuana, plenty marijuana. And he went to bail the person, and he had to get 20,000 for the police bail, and how much money for the bailer, and all kind of, I say, it's all that, you're getting police bail. I say, well, that is why it's a whole system that is out there that encouraging this crime, because some people making real money off of this. So they need to lock them up, carry them to the court the next morning. And too many. I tell all already about a guy who I know who worked for me, a stupid neighbor quarrel story and some dispute. And he went to court over 30 times, and up to now the matter has settled a case and call and try. Every time it putting off. Something has to be done in this country about this foolishness. So they will continue. I would say bring Ayatollah here, Right? Some of them, all of them who like the thief and chop out their hand. And when you see them walking with one hand, you know it's a thief.
Well, you went easy, right? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they need a toller here for a year. Thank you.
Have a good day, darling.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good
Let
morning,
me
sir.
agree with dear swift and severe justice. Because in countries where they have a handle on the crime, that is what we see. An extreme case would be Saudi Arabia. Some years ago, when they had King Fahd, which was 5 years ago, someone asked him, well, this is a barbaric country. You chop off people's hands and so on for stealing. And King Fahd is reputed to have replied, well, first of all, we don't have a lot of stealing. And secondly, how many one-armed men do you see walking around? Meaning that it is working. It worked as a disincentive to commit crime. But if people know they are going to be able to access all the opportunities Xenia just described, or even if they don't, this is going to go on for a long time, the punishment is not going to affect their minds, even if the punishment is death in law, death by hanging. Even if it is that, and it's going to be so many years down the road and there's this chance that you may escape, it's not going to bear on their minds that, maybe I shouldn't commit this crime. I have small children. My mother is going to suffer over this. My sisters, my brothers are messing up my life. They're not going to think like that if it's going to be far away and maybe never happen. Or they may be in a privileged position. So the thing is that the punishment, first of all, you have to catch them. That's a story there.
Well, let me just add one to that, Mr. Pinal. I just brought it up on my phone. And the Canadian system, in terms of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedom, Section 11B, which is titled Trial Within a Reasonable Time. And the provision is that in 11A, any person charged with an offense has the right to be charged within a reasonable time. The right to a fair trial is protected under Section 2A of the Canadian Bill of Rights. Section 7 provides some residual protection against state-caused delay in limited circumstances. So the person is guaranteed a fair trial in a reasonable time, as indicated by R versus Jordan 2016, where the provision also serves secondary societal interest. The interest in protecting the right of an accused person to humane and fair treatment, in the interest of having laws enforced, including ensuring those who break the law are tried in timely fashion. And that came about because of the same issue we're facing in Trinidad and Tobago, where criminal cases are delayed by as much as 15 years. It's unfair to the person awaiting trial, but it's also unfair to society. Morning, Ragoobarsingh.
Yeah, morning, guys.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, caller. I have a call. I'll select the call. Sorry.
Yes, hello, good morning to you all.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, and I think in regards to the problems in Trinidad and Tobago, we're looking in the wrong direction. According to the Bible, it says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn to me and seek my face, then I will hear from heaven and heal the land. No man or no individual could solve the problem. We need to look to the source. Thank you very much.
All right. Good morning. That was helpful. Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Well, one thing, Paul, crime is a business. I think a large part of crime is business. The other part is social, I think. So that's another interesting kind of dynamics in the talk with Chinda, because we have to say crime is a business and it's economy and something. But I think in the short term, we have to, if you invest in, you have to do it on a three-prong attack. I would like to see an investment in training. I don't think this walking into the police and in such a short time it could be out of the road. So you have to invest in better training. And then I think the investment in the development of community policing and what that means and how you move, because they did say that the estate regional corporation estate officers will become part of the community policing arm. I haven't seen anything on that. I don't know what that is and how that will roll out. But a community police is a different character to another type of police. You know, how they see the community, how they understand social work, how they understand psychology and interaction and people skills and all those kind of things. Is there supposed to be their stronghold?
But you know, Dean, a lot of times the police service, when you bring up community police, they say all police officers are community police officers. You know, they say that too.
Yeah, and I will accept that as well. But they have to define in that aspect what they mean and when they mean. Because I think in Scotland, when they said that they look at police from a public health thing, the police took another aspect of their training, and I think they had to, they had to acquire a new set of skill sets. I don't know, I'm just saying. So you have to tell me, hey, when you mean that, what do you mean? What is the training that they are getting? What kind of information are you feeding your police over? And it's supposed to be sustained. I think this thing, but you just train some people and then they throw them out into the thing. I don't know because I know that you should have, anybody dealing with people should have some kind of people skills training then, you'll run a, if you have a business, a security officer have to have some understanding of how we interacting with the people coming into your office, so that, I'm just a security officer and I am gruff and we need to look strong and hard and thing. Security officers have changed over the time. But they say, hi ma'am, how you going, morning? And those things have changed. The security officers, which used to sit down silently in the corner and just watch a gruff, has now evolved into a different type of security officer at the front desk. And I think the next investment is that we have to invest in an education system that is more integrated into community, like a school. I don't know why there's closed off schools. Why schools in primary schools? We have a basic primary school in almost every community. Small. And I took a drive with my friend who was doing a research on school dropouts, and it was amazing that every community have a school, and how you integrate the school back into the community as a second community center or the main community center, where elders telling stories of, and these things can happen quite easily. These things can happen in 2 years, 1 year. You have a man, okay, English, he kind of proficient, and then you bring the elder in, he just interlink it to the curriculum. I have people do. So there are a lot of ways they could do it, and I know they could do it in short term, and if they have any problems. So I think those three things, to me, I would like to see. I think they could happen, and I think those things could happen in a 1 year, 2 year, and 3 year, because these politicians only think in 5-year terms, right? So, okay, we want to do something that we could show the people that we're doing. And I think that's it. And then your public sector reform, which will get the things kicking. And you all need to talk more about public sector reform and what it means for the citizenry to get better service. And then you kick that's a longer one, because you need opposition and you need some unions. I think that's a long haul one. But if you start it, hey, maybe. But they're doing it in peace thing, peace thing. So to me, that's my contribution to the things.
All right. Thank you, Dean.
Yeah,
Thank you.
all right.
All right. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning, caller.
I agree with the last caller to an extent. Well, the little piece that I heard anyway. This is a political problem. If you really think about it, the police service, the judiciary, we complain about these things now, but think back to like in the 90s, in the 80s, when there was no crime, low levels, but the police service arguably is better resourced. It's a much better organization than it was in the 80s and the 90s. The judiciary is better resourced in the 80s and the 90s, right? But we still have this problem. So what I would argue is that, you know, in spite of the fact that we've made changes and we've made advances to these organizations independently and whatever it is, but the system itself is still lagging behind. And we haven't really improved our state, you know, the way we govern, the way we do things. It hasn't kept up pace with the problems that we have. So Paul had mentioned before about Canada and, you know, with respect to the, you know, they passed a law, I think it was, in 3 to 5 years that, you know, cases have to be finished, completed within a certain time frame. But what they also had to do was to draw a line and to forgive and to throw out like thousands of cases to reset the system. And that was a big part of that policy change or that change that they implemented. And I think we need to do the same thing. We need to unclog the system and we need to draw a line and literally just say, okay, you know what, after this particular time, throw out cases, forgive cases, just, you know, reset the system. And then now that's the only way I see that we could have like a faster flow of justice, and we could really begin to get that sort of if you commit a crime, you do the time, or you get the kind of punishment, and
But you know why they throw out those cases? Because in a natural justice sense, if I am on remand and awaiting trial in prison for 14 years, and the maximum sentence to my crime was 10 years, I've already saved my time.
So there was a sense of that, yes, but there was also a sense of, you know, the fact that, you know, well, listen, right, what we're trying to achieve is like a resetting of the system, and they recognize essentially that, you know, the goal of having a quick and swift justice is sort of would be impaired significantly by having a backlog of cases, and that there is just no way that they could maintain that cadence in terms of making decisions and resolving cases with this backlog. And I mean, I think we're in the exact same position, right? I mean, murders alone, the numbers that have come forward is that something in the order of every single judge, and I think there are like 70-something judges out there now, if every single judge sat and all they looked at was capital cases, it will take them like 15 to 20 years just to clear the backlog, right? I mean, talking about people that they catch, that's just the backlog, that's just the 10% detection rate or whatever it is for the last 15, 20 years. That is how long, that's the size of the problem. So we need to have a real conversation as a country in terms of how do we resolve that problem. And I know, you know, the Kamala Persad administration, I mean, they tried something with this Section 34. I mean, as I understand it, you know, the idea there was that you would have this sort of a cutoff. And then before, I don't think it was a capital, but for certain offenses, you know, but, you know, you draw a line and then you would forgive cases more or less. And then, you know, it's like you draw a line, you forgive the cases, and then you move forward when, you know, you reset the system and you go forward. Obviously, there were political sort of fallout and implications with respect to what they did, or decision-making, I should say. You know, politics involved in that. We all know how that played out. But as I see it, the problem is political, right? We don't have it's the political decisions that were made with how we spend, how the windfall that we got from LNG in 1999 when, you know, Atlantic LNG came on and our country just had all of this money. So we had our problems simmering before, and then all of this money, you just dump it into the country, and politicians, you know, they just, instead of focusing on developing the structures of the state and doing the hard work like Norway does or other countries, you know, Norway in particular, you know, it's a free-for-all. So money was like, you know, just started spending it, started giving it away to the public. You know, you open up the foreign used car markets, and then you didn't fix the traffic court. And then when all of these cars come into the country, now you have a system, you have a problem where, you know, tickets and the police trying to scramble, and then the majority of cases now the police had to deal with in the lower courts were traffic related. And it's only 20 years afterwards that they decided to fix that and to make it so that a police officer doesn't have to go to court every time you get a ticket. And that, you know, that's the kind of changes that should have been done. Imagine if that had been done 20 years ago when they decided to open up the foreign used car market, right? And everybody get a car. And it's things like that. These are the little things that we need to sort of political, you know, changes. And there's no difference in my view between the UNC and the PNM when it comes to policy, you know, flavor, the way they think about these kind of problems. More or less is the same kind of a thing, you know. It's just the one represent one race, the other one represent another race, and that's the only difference per se, and who thief more and who ain't thief more, etc. But people in this country need to, I think, wake up and recognize that, we still have the power, and it is, at the end of the day, the people are the ones that I would see are responsible for this, because we like it so. So if it is that we talking all this talk about crime, what are the solutions and stuff? We need to wake up and see that, things need to change. And we need some, that change had to start with you. But that's what I would.
All right. Thank you. All right. Morning, Richie. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Like you went for doubles?
No. Just have a very busy morning this morning. So it's my last of my busy days before Christmas.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
See you later, right?
I will try.
Oh, try, he says. Try.
Yeah, I will try. I'm not 100% sure though.
Okay. 612-8255. Toll free North Americans. 866-525-1099. Lines are open. Take some of your calls. You actually got to pick my music. I have no idea what to play after the news.
Oh, you have a whole, it's Christmas music. You have a whole repertoire. You have parang, you have classical, and you have contemporary.
One of our listeners will pick a song for me, and
so you have all.
Okay. And we go from there. Somebody send me a message. What song should I play? Let's say. No. That's not it. That's not it. Central Animal Lover. Signature Stationery. I think that might be it. In Val Park, yeah. I don't go in there. I told them I'm not going in there. Rampage says, truth is, these good boys have more rights than good. Police are quickly returning to rise. Okay. Mr. Good, Paul Richards. Okay. Rampage. Gosh. Shaka. Okay. All right. Let's wrap this call. Good morning.
Good morning again.
Uh-huh.
I want to ask Paul. Paul, don't you think that the kind of lot of pussyfooting that is going in Parliament have a lot to do with the crime too? Laws that should really be passed, serious laws, and like the opposition won't agree with the government. Paul, or Paul not there? I think that two games has been playing too much in the Parliament, that they could just come together and be serious and pass a law if it has to be passed. And then not only passing it, but implementing what has to be done. Again, I want to say that I used to always agree with the deceased Mackie Padmore, God rest his soul, and the former mayor, Mr. Lise. And not finding that I'm finding the camps that they talk about and not seeing them opening fast enough. I want the youth camps to be reintroduced, as they say. Do it quickly. Too many youth. I see when anything happen more long in Beatam or some of those areas that come out to protest in some of those country areas with people burning tires and all that, and I wonder, they don't have work to go to. And if all they have work, well, then all they have to find somewhere to let these people go to be able to earn a living, because some of them, like, they're too dispossessed, nothing to do, no work to get, so they want either going to take you who work in, they're going to take your money. Now I'm saying again, who don't want to go to the youth camp, you take them and put them in a boot camp. You understand? And get a lot of people involved in trade and all that, because there are lots of things out here to be done, and you're looking for a good workman, you can't get one. You know?
All right. Thanks, Zita.
Thank you.
All right.
And where's Paul? I wanted Paul to say what he thinks about what Paul.
He probably had a cup of coffee and indisposed right now.
Thank you. Right. Richard?
Yes, Zina.
You get up here, them blanket boy. Or you getting up late every day? You getting up later than me? What you think it is at all? No. I got to take away that blanket. That is for retired people. Oh, God.
Which one was that?
Good morning.
Good morning, how's everyone? Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, big guy.
Hi. I'm not going to go into any long sort of rambling because people don't get your point when you ramble too long. So I'm going to be straight to the point.
Lovely.
There are a number of things have to be done to, I think, to control crime in Trinidad, right? First of all, you reform the judiciary. That's just one part of it. Because you can have a reformed judiciary, you also have to have detection by the police department. And so that will go hand in hand. The more detection, judiciary take care of them, you put them away. The police officers have to have, the officers in security have to have pride to know that they're being backed by the country, and they have to have pride in their jobs. Okay? You want to have a secret unit, you have to have polygraph. It's hundreds of things you have to do. One of the main things, the criminals use technology to advance their wrongdoing. The police of Trinidad, TTPS, Trinidad Police Service, sorry, they have to start going. It's an age of technology. You have to get into technology. They have proven systems out here in New York. Get them, find out what they are, and use them. It's not just one thing about passing bills in Parliament or training alone. It's a number of different things you have to do to control crime. And as I said, I'm not going to any long rambling. It's just that they have certain things you have to do, and you have to get straight to the point and do it. That's my take. But technology is one of the biggest things. Okay, gentlemen, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, big
But
guy.
the TTPS always claims that they have all of this technology and they can't reveal all that they have, etc. etc.
Morning again. Crime is a multifaceted thing, you know. When you have parents who have children who may want to work no way, and they want to give them money and give them nice sneakers and car and food, all kind of things, that's the beginning of crime. Now, when you have lawyers and them, like certain lawyers, all they want to do is to wait for a man to commit a crime and look for money to eat a food. Crime. When you have the education system where nobody care about nobody in the system, and them children going to school, and when they reach school, they drop out and they go on the way. Crime. When you have a nice young girl who like nice eyelashes and long fingernail and toenail and gold, and they're walking away, and you have to go and thief to sustain that. Like crime. So crime is a whole multifaceted thing. It's not going on outside there. It's a social issue. Crime is all kind of thing. But how we going to stop that? How we going to stop people from that mindset? It's a mindset. It's a culture mindset where people have to change the thought pattern and the mind to how to look at things in life. The police could never stop crime. The jury system could never stop crime. They could hold people, lock them up, and you go to court, and you go in jail or you go come out. But to stop the actual thing, to actually stop the thing, what we want to deal with is the symptoms of crime. Yes, but to deal with the situation, to deal with the thing that creating the crime, is your mindset and how you think and your view and how you want to do things. Just imagine you don't want to work. You don't want to work, but you want to drive a nice car. Or you want to have a big gold chain. Or you want to have the best iPhone. You understand? You know the iPhone? iPhone is about $10,000. And that's when people have iPhone and they even have $50 on it. They not $10 on it. Where they get a phone? So we're looking at certain things, but we have to look in a vast way, what creating crime is. And that's why I say it's from the home, it's from all about. So we have God, according to Bazi Pandey, when he throw your hand up in the air, say, Lord help us. You say, my God? It's the same thing right now. Lord help us, yes? All right.
Well, I mean, I think we have to fix it, and I think a lot of it is how equitable the society is, how you fix that, how you treat with those issues, how you treat with income inequality, how you treat with your education system. I think your education system has a huge part to play in how people see the society in which they live, and what is their investment in the social contract that we all have with the society. And I want to say that the vast majority of young people and the vast majority of citizens understand that. But gangs proliferate generally because of money and access to money through underhand means, because there are also people in the other parts of the economy who are fueling this entire network. It's like a spider web that spreads across in terms of funneling money to get whatever. You are getting money because of what illegal activities you're doing. You're selling drugs, you're selling arms and ammunition, and those whole networks that are also fueled by white-collar crime. So you have to decide how you're dealing with all of those things with a precision that holds people accountable and gets people before court systems and adjudicated upon, because holding somebody accountable means more rapid justice, which comes back to the beginning of this conversation. Because if you hold somebody and it's 12 years down the road, they're found guilty, plenty of people have forgotten about that case, which is what happens until it resurfaces. And if it's a case that had struck enough emotional chords back when it happened, when the case is actually going on, it resurfaces and people follow it. But they almost follow it as if they're following a Netflix movie. You're following it for all of the, what that person say and what happened in court today, and it becomes that. But the incident they're talking about is usually 10 years ago, 9 years ago, sometimes 15 years ago. So we have some hard decisions to make. And I get the point of resetting the system and rebooting the system. And we just have some hard decisions to make about how the society moves forward. How is the education system also to blame for some of what is happening in terms of the crime sector? All of that we have to have hard, truthful looks at in terms of solving the problem. Can the problem be solved? Absolutely, I believe it can. Throwing your hands up in the air is not a solution. How spaces look, I think, is a big part of it, which I've talked about before. Crime prevention through environmental design, which is accepted, which is something that's used and incorporated in other countries and cities. All of that is part of it. The more I am a total believer in the more discipline and environment looks, it changes human behavior. But all of that connects now to local government and how the society looks and the dilapidation of the country also contributes psychologically to crime. It contributes to human behavior. So it's many angles that you have to look at. And ultimately, it's an issue of discipline, and discipline in following that social contract that I believe the vast majority of Trinidadians and Tobagonians want to follow and do follow. Anyway, we have to go to the news.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Good morning. Here's what's making your news headlines.